All right, guys, we are at day 2 of the Lagerfest in cyberspace. We are at the final countdown, 3 minutes before it starts. We have a fantastic beer lineup coming up, 6 more beers from all around the US, and we cannot wait. Day 1 was so awesome. We're so excited for day 2. All right, round 1 of day 2 of the Lagerfest in cyberspace. We just finished Para Mi Gente, see if I can get it over there, which is a Mexican-style lager. They make it with blue corn, and it's a collaboration between Beer Thug Life and Indie. Why can't I remember that? Indie. It's actually really good. It has a kind of a grainy sweetness to it. Very clean, easy drinking. The really cool thing about this beer, you can't buy it in stores. They brewed it specifically for this Lagerfest, so we are honored to be able to taste this beer. It is awesome. Live Oak Pre-War Pils. I'm excited for pre-war pills. I'm curious as to how they made it pre-war. How did they research it? Cheers. That's good. It's very different, though.
Let's jump.
I'm on the fence. All right, just finished round 2 from Live Oak, a pre-war Pilsner. Very sweet. The corn is evident. Has kind of a white wine character, so very light. Not necessarily my favorite of the Pilsners that we've done. Definitely clean, definitely well brewed. Still not my favorite though. Something to note with this pre-war Pils, it did have the lowest rating of all the beers that came in the box, so I guess it does fall in line with the rest of the beers. Again, a great beer on its own, but we've had a fantastic lineup of beers so far, so this isn't necessarily the favorite out of the box. Radix. Halfway Crooks. Interesting label on that thing. This is number 7, number 8 lager we tasted in the past 2 days. It's a lot of lagers. Very sharp. I don't want to use the term skunky, and not in a negative way, but there is a bit of a funk to it, and not in a sour beer way. There's some skunkiness to it.
It reminds me of like a
Grolsch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a Heineken.
Heineken, that's exactly
skunk.
what I thought of. That
Yeah.
where it's not off-putting, it's just part of the beer style.
Interesting. All right, so we just finished up number 3, Radix by Halfway Crooks. Interesting Pilsner. Definitely got some corn sweetness from it. It is very full of flavor. Somewhat of a skunkiness from, well, I'm not sure what it's from, but it reminds me almost of like a Heineken or a Grolsch from that kind of aggressive, grating skunkiness. Very good overall, very clean, so it's well done. All right, we just finished up round number 4. Black Lager from Enegren, Nighthawk. Absolutely amazing. I loved it. It has a great dark roastiness to it, but it has a dry lager finish. Very sessionable, absolutely amazing. This is probably one of my favorite dark lagers as of right now, so it is so good. So good. All right, so beer number 5 on day 2 is Landbier Dunkel, not Dunkel, as I've learned over the past 2 days, Dunkel, rustic dark lager. This thing is really good. The aroma is very biscuity, some dark toast notes, has a very nice clean lager finish, has some great complexity to it, very well balanced. So between this and the Nighthawk, I'm kind of wavering back and forth as to which is my favorite on day 2. I can't wait for the last one. We're excited. All right, beer number 6. So this is the end of the Lagerfest in cyberspace. 12 beers over 2 days. Final beer, Dovetail Baltic Porter. I gotta be honest, I don't normally like a Baltic Porter. There's something about the finish that just doesn't jive with me. This one is really, really good. It's nice soft roastiness, has some hints of vanilla in there. I'm not sure where that's coming from because there is no vanilla in it. And it has that nice clean finish. It is extremely sessionable. It is delicious. Okay, so we just finished watching our day 2 video of the Lagerfest in cyberspace. A couple last thoughts and impressions of kind of how the whole thing went down and answering some of the questions that we talked about before. Was it worth it? What's the cost? Things like that. It was about $100 for the box of 12 beers that we did over the 2 days, which if you think about it is kind of a lot for only 12 beers, although that includes shipping, so that's not bad. Came with the 2 tasting glasses and the poster and the online interactivity. I don't think we went into it really, frankly, with high expectations.
Not at all.
Not at all. Because part of the whole allure of a beer fest, you go in there, you get to taste these beers, all these breweries, way more than 12, and you get to talk to the people that are working there and talk to other people who have the same passion that you do. So, you know, looking at an online beer fest, you really feel like the majority of the experience is kind of cut off. So what was interesting is that really didn't seem to be the case. There were some things that were missing from the online beer fest, like being there in person and having the huge quantity of beers that you could taste. But with that, you gained a whole different experience.
Yes.
The online community, as far as the chat, you gained access to the head brewers of these breweries, which you don't get with a regular beer fest. They're not going to fly out there and be slinging beers. So it was neat to be able to actually directly ask them questions and actually have them there.
Right.
That was cool. But it definitely moved. It didn't get boring at any point in time.
No, it didn't. And I mean, especially since with the Brewers itself, I was half expecting it to be like, oh, the head brewers pre-shot a video or pre-recorded a video, and then they would just play that. No, they were live streaming.
That was very cool.
That was cool too.
Yeah. What I've noticed in recent years with the beer fest that we've kind of gone and done is that the local breweries especially are bringing less of the special stuff and more of, you can already get this in the store and we're bringing it to the fest.
Yeah.
Which frankly is a little disappointing.
Right.
This fest, however, every single one of those beers, I think every single one of those beers you can't get, at least where we are. So it was a whole new experience to be able to do that, and that was very cool. With it being $100 for the 6 beers, you know, we split it 2 ways because it had 2 sample glasses that came with it. But in reality, we could probably split it among like 4 people.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. I think it would have. I think I would have welcomed having 2 extra people to help us through some of the beers, because by the end of it, you're like trying to, like, you had a good point when we were talking off camera. Like, it's tasting a beer every 30 minutes, really, and you're finishing a full can. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but after a while, you're like, okay, you just gotta gulp it down and like.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is, but it's a lot of fun.
Right.
I mean,
Oh, it was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Definitely something that I would think I would do it again. And not just Lager Fest, but I think you know, another beer fest we would sign up for. I was looking for the next one that was coming, and they had one that had emphasis on female brewers or female-owned breweries. And I thought, well, that'd be a cool one to go and do.
Yeah.
They were sold out, and I looked at it. It was still 2 months out. Completely sold out. I couldn't get in and do it. So we'll look probably for another beer fest to do online just to kind of experience it again. But for me personally, and I don't know how you feel, Christy, but I would do it again.
Oh my gosh, 100%. I feel like, and Beer Advocate and Halftime Beverages did a great job, from shipping to packaging to, you know, kind of hosts. The hosts were
The
great.
hosts were hilarious.
Yeah.
And the beer lineup was so varied. Like, it's not a boring style, clearly. Right. I mean, they really run the full gambit. Yeah. And every beer, was everybody's favorite? No. There were some that I was like, just not a fan of that. Not because it was a bad beer, but just for me personally, in my palate, not my thing.
Right.
But I still enjoyed them.
Yes.
I mean, there wasn't a single beer on there that was a drain pour, which
Right.
you would hope for $100. So overall, the online beer experience was very, very cool. I don't think it 100% replaces an in-person beer fest, but it gives you a lot more options for a different experience that has different nuance to it that I really enjoyed.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Especially like if you live in states where you have inclement weather, whether it's snow or 115-degree heat like we do here. It's a great option when you really want to do something fun and get outside, but you can't. Absolutely, there is a place for online beer festivals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely do it again.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed filming and doing the Beer Fest. And don't forget to like and subscribe to keep this great content coming. We appreciate it very much. And we'll see you next time.